Hey everybody, it's Vessel of Truth here. Jay from Virginia for the new people. Um, this is the second video I was telling you about earlier. Sorry to make it so late, but as I told you before, I was working on my truck and come to find out it was the window motor and I had to put a window motor in. So it's up and running. So that's the main part. It was a pain in the butt, but hey, most things are nowadays. I pray everybody's had a good day. All in all, it's been a good day, seeing as how I got the truck fixed anyway. But we're going to dive into something that most people overlook just because they do not read the Old Testament. And, I've been saying it and saying it and saying it, you miss a lot whenever you don't read the Old Testament because, the New Testament reverts back and tells you a lot of things in the Old Testament, but also the Old Testament gives you a lot of clarity to things in the New Testament, like what I'm about to show you. And we're going to start out in Matthew chapter 26 and, of course, verse 39, but we're going to read the part where most everybody calls it, the Christ's weakest hour or weakest time, or some people refer to it as, the cup of Yashua. So you're going to see that there's a lot more to this cup that he's talking about, because everybody knows that Yeshua took our sin and all that, but got to remember Yahuwah is bound by the law. And you figure the northern kingdom from the 12 tribes, they split. 10 tribes went to the northern kingdom, 2 tribes were the southern kingdom. And the northern kingdom never repented, so they were divorced because of idolatry. They were an adulterous people. They were idol worshiping and, following other gods, other people, and everything. And so they were an adulterous people. So this cup that it refers to that Yeshua took upon himself, you're going to see exactly what this cup really is about, because you do not have the background given to you in the New Testament. And I mean, it's a fascinating story. I'm going to keep it short. There's way more I could add to this, but I want to give you enough to where you yourself will seek out the truth in the scriptures, because you will not be disappointed, because this is a fascinating scripture. So let's not delay. Let's go ahead and go with Matthew chapter 26, starting in verse 39, and we'll read all the way through, 46? Yeah, I think it's 46. So it says, And he went a little further, and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Some say, not my will be done, but thine. But, it just depends. I'm using the Restored Names King James Version is what I'm using. Verse 40. And he cometh up unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. That right there is a point for us all. I'm guilty of burning the candle at both ends and also in the middle, on the side, as much as possible. And when your flesh gets weak, sometimes the spiritual man will keep you going, but sooner or later you're going to crash. And, we have got to be on our A game, especially in the times in which we live today. I mean, like I said in the last video, man, everybody I know is fighting some sort of a battle. And some people, they're fighting 3 and 4 and 5 different battles, especially if there's still what used to be a family group. The whole family is getting attacked, like the mother, the father, the children. There's just a huge attack on everyone. And, that's what we are to expect. The enemy is here to wear out the saints. And we've got to be prayed up and ready to go at all times. 42. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me except I drink it, thy will be done." See, still, you don't have a clue what cup he's talking about. 43. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left and went again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, "Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me." And of course, that's right when, Judas had betrayed him with a kiss, and he was betrayed into the hands of the Jews. So, we see that he's praying about this cup, but there is no backstory about this cup in the New Testament. But if you go over here into the Old Testament and go to Numbers chapter 5, we'll read starting at verse 11, because I want you to see. Verse 11 says, "And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying," so this is Yahuwah, our Creator, our Father, speaking. "Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before Yahuwah. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before Yahuwah, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. Gets good here in a minute, because she has to agree to it. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanliness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causes the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thy husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, Yahuwah make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when Yahuwah doth make thy thigh to rot, and thy belly to swell. And this water that causes the curse shall go into thy bowels, and make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. In other words, so let it be, so let it be. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse, and the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave of the offering before Yahuwah, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, or when a spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before Yahuwah, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. See what I'm saying? This is the bitter cup that Christ took upon him for us, because we were an adultering whore that was divorced. And you figure, under the law, there was no way that the Father could bring us back to be saved. That's why he had to send his Son in an earth suit down to earth of flesh and become one of us, live a sinless life, undoing what happened in the Garden of Eden, where by one man sin entered in. Through this one man, Christ, sin will be defeated, and all flesh can be saved through him, including the northern kingdom, who were divorced and was an adulterous whore. I mean, it is fabulous, whenever you start reading more and more and more the things that Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, did for us. I mean, he not only took upon our sin, but he took upon, obeying the law, taking the bitter cup upon him, So he took our sin, he took the jealousy, he took our healing. It says, that our iniquity was upon him. Let's see, he was bruised with our iniquity. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we were healed. That's why it says in the Old Testament, he sent his word, the word is Christ, and healed our every disease. Because he knew that Christ would come, and by his stripes we would be healed. It all ties together. You have got to read the first 3 quarters of the book to understand the last quarter of the book. It is so important. And I pray that, seeing how these things tie in together and give you such a broader picture of things, that Christ humbled himself as a man, being all God but yet all man, and humbled himself and took all things upon him to save you, to save me, to save the world. Everybody has the ability to be saved through him. Sadly, most have rejected it. And I mean, that's sad. But he told us that's the way it would be. I mean, wait till you start seeing some of the numbers. I've been kicking around another teaching, in the Old Testament, more on the lines of, the walk of a true child of Yahuwah. And that teaching, it gets in your business a little bit, but it's really important for us to see it, because there's so much fear mongering going on. So, as you know, the multitudes, the masses of the sheep, they are more concerned and more set their eyes upon the problem. Well, we know that when we are a child of Yahuwah, we don't look at the problem. We look at the problem solver. And we are to walk in faith. But yet, all that's being sown on just about all channels, even ones that consider themselves faith-based, is fear-mongering. Of course, they say, "Oh, I'm not saying to be afraid. I'm saying, prepare." Well, if you're talking about the problem, and then maybe 4 or 5 videos down the road, it's back to, the problem solver. If you got more time talking about the problem than the problem solver, then I dare say you're fear-mongering. That's my take on it. I try to make my words count. We as the children of Yahuwah are told that we will account for every idle word. Think about it. At my age, which I'm not that old, but I'm old, I have spoke a many a word, and I couldn't even fathom the amount of words that I will account for. And I know some back in the day were bad. Thank Yahuwah for forgiveness, but every idle word. How many words have you spoke? See what I'm saying? That's why he says that a smart or a wise man makes his words few. It's why we're instructed to let our yea be yea and our nay, nay. It's why we're instructed to never take an oath, never swear by anything. There's a method to Yahuwah's madness always. And of course, it's not madness. It's kind of a human phrase, but I use it all the time. There's a method to my madness, because a lot of things I do different than most people. But I pray just seeing this simple illustration, from something that you don't get just by reading the New Testament. You just see, oh yeah, he's praying about his bitter cup. He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to be tortured. He doesn't want to do this. Well, any human wouldn't want to do that. It shows his humanity. But yet it also shows his spirituality by saying, not my will be done, but thine. How many of us would have the strength to say that when you know you're going to be whipped, beaten, nailed to a cross, and die? Dare say, that puts it in perspective. He knew what was coming for him and still did it. I don't think there's too many men out there that could do it. And if that doesn't choke you up or get your attention, then, I think you need to pray a little while, because you're not really seeing what has been done for you. I mean, think about it. Everything that you have been forgiven for is all your fault. You did it. You're guilty. I was guilty. But no, the Father sent His only Son. Would you send your Son to die for a bunch of wicked people? Because when we were yet evil, He sent His Son to die for us. It says something. I mean, I think that's lost in today's day and age. They don't see the truth of what Yeshua did for us. You know, I've heard people say, you know, that when you're a drug user and all that, you know, you have to suffer. I am living proof right here that when I went to my knees and I repented and the Father got a hold of me, when I got up off the floor, I was a new man. I never had the first withdrawal ever. You don't have to suffer. I mean, if you really, really want to, okay, suffer. You can have it. I prefer not to. The Father took it totally upon Him. The chastisement of our peace was upon Him. Every sickness, every disease. You don't have to be sick. You can walk in divine health. I am living proof. I have never had the flu. I've never had a cold. I've never had strep throat. I've never had any of that garbage that people get. Don't want it. Never will. You just have to believe. It's a beautiful thing. And there's power in the truth. And all you have to do is believe. I pray this short little illustration, you know, I wanted to pick, you know, an easy topic that would show you, hey, there are way, way, way more benefits to reading the Old Testament before reading the New, because you have so much more input and background. That's why Paul, all of his writings are misunderstood, because nobody read the Old Testament first. Paul quotes the Torah day in and day out in every book. And then, you know, they'll take little phrases that he says here and there out of context and say, see, you don't have to abide by the dietary laws. Dude, if you stick with the context, it says what it says. You know, the days and the times and the meals and that he was talking about had to do with the people, the town people that he was in. They were eating food sacrificed to idols. And they were making fun of those true believers for eating certain ways and esteeming certain days over another. He said, don't care about what they say. Do what you know is right. Walk the walk as you're talking the talk. Be an example to people. It's one thing to be in everybody's business telling them this, that, and the other, but there ain't too many people out there that actually walk it for them to see. You know, you can't get away from it. You know, the saying, proof is in the pudding. You know, I'm an open book for anybody who wants to know anything. I was a wretch of a man, but Yeshua died for me, and the Father loved me and wouldn't let me go. And from that day forward, you know, I've made it my mission to tell people, I know if the Father can save me, He can save anyone. I just pray that this lights a fire in you, or rekindles the fire. Because when you see the newness, that knowing the background of all the other stories in the New Testament, it makes it worth it. Well, it makes the Word a whole new book. It makes it 1,000 times more exciting, and it ignites that hunger and thirst after the righteousness to start searching the Scriptures, seeking things out. And you can't go wrong when you're spending hours upon hours upon hours in the Word. That just gets you closer and closer and closer, and makes your image and your likeness more like Yahuwah and less like the world. I thank you all, and I pray that you see what I'm trying to show in this. I made it simple as I could to, taking two sets of scriptures, one in the New, one in the Old, in the Old Testament, giving all the background to the one in the New. And there's so much more that can go in to this. Whenever you start bringing in the tribes and so on and so forth of the 10 northern tribes that were guilty of whoredom and idolatry and adultery, I pray you just seek it out. But until then, tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can't do the other video I was telling you about. Just depends if I can finish up my notes on it. Tomorrow's my long day at work, so actually the next two. But I pray everybody had a good day. I pray the blessings of Yahuwah upon you. And until next time, Yahuwah bless you and keep you always.